Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. It was a day yesterday. Not really cold, not really chill, just not really warm either. I made my walkies up to Walmart and back, and that was fine, and did some good sleeping, but had gut pain and woke up early anyway. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully you have had a beautiful and wonderful yesterday and evening and sleep, and hopefully it's a good day and morning for you, no matter when you are watching. Yay, thumbs up for that. Of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like or subscribe to the channel, if you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people that help to keep me and my pets, no matter which pets I have at the time. Hopefully I'm going to get some hamsters again soon. So I know that my pets do appreciate that, as well as myself appreciating that. If you would like to become one of these beautiful and awesome people, I have links down in the video description, as well as links to a PayPal for any possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like pet food on it, and post office box, so that if you sent me anything at all, even just a postcard or a keychain, I'll open it up on camera and marvel over it. So thumbs up, thank you, and hey, front loading over. It was a day yesterday. I put some band-aids over the little toe on my right foot before I went walkies. My toe did not hurt horrifically on the walk. When I came back and checked out my foot, oh, my left toe is just left. My right toe is just purple up where I had the band-aids and it was pressing on that seam. I have insanely delicate skin. Hopefully keeping band-aids on it, it will actually develop some form of callus. I developed calluses. I used to drink soda bottles and such where the rim would dig into my finger here, and I got a huge callus in there at one point. So I can develop calluses. I just don't develop them where I actually need them. Thumbs up for that. But walkies was fine. Past that, went to Walmart, bought my stuff like pet food, and then walked back, and that was okay. I got back a little bit later, and that's okay. It worked out. I did some things yesterday as best I could, and I thought as creatively as possible, but checking on my list, because there is stuff that I do want to talk about. One of them is, with all the solo RPG stuff that I have, there's a bunch of free stuff out there as well. One of them is this one. I've mentioned it before. It is Dungeon Hero. It is a small, simple system. I have little plastic sheet protectors so they fly everywhere when I set them down. It's called Dungeon Hero. But oh boy, is this an abstract game. It is intensely abstracted. Your character is, you decide what traits you have and what you can and can't do, and then you assign dice to them. You have a D12, D10, D10, D8, and then 3D6, and then you make traits for those. Whatever you come across has a list of things, and it has a list of its own traits. You have to advance on the list of things that happen, and you have to make up a story to go with that. Like, you may have a couple traits of, stealthy, and has a sword, and a rope, and cautious. And then your list of things that you come across, here's an example, like here, you start off at a building, and you've got to advance by rolling your dice. So you roll dice, they roll dice for what's happening, but it's like you start off with D6, trouble untying yourself. So the game is going to roll a D6. You have to choose what of your traits, like strong maybe, and then you roll your dice and try to get the higher number than their dice of trouble untying. And then if you make it, then you go on and you advance down that list, the however many, go, oh, D8, it was only a mirage. So you have to literally choose just from your list, roll those dice, and then abstract it all out. If you are a roll and write journaling type role player, that would probably do well, because it's abstract enough. You're supposed to use your imagination to fill in the story. You're not just supposed to roll the dice and go, oh, I beat the number, on to the next thing. No, it's, oh, I did this, what happened? And then you construct within your head what happened based on these dice rolls, whether you succeeded or failed. And when you eventually succeed and then go on to it was only a mirage, you come up with the scenario where the mirage was a mirage. You don't just roll dice and go on. This is definitely a journaling type thing, but it is also a beginner thing. So I don't know if I would ever run this one, but I just thought I'd point that out, that there's a million different types out there. So thumbs up. And that's one of the free ones. Another one I want to talk about on another day, hopefully that was understandable English, on another day, is the game The Rusty Dagger. And it's another one of these really simple, fits on 1 or 2 pages sorts of things. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, I still want to do D100 Dungeon, and I want to do Alone Against Fear, and I'm still running, of course, the 4 Against Darkness and Note Quest stuff. And there's all sorts of stuff I want to continue showing off and playing. So we'll see what happens that way. Hopefully good stuff. And of course, I did do some thinking on my whole Razor's Edge, inside, outside, and cryptid world setting, since it's all one thing. Since I do this all in Brookerton, South Carolina, the fictional town of Brookerton, South Carolina, a port city off the fictional river of Samdan, South Carolina, this is it's a setting where a lot of stuff is happening. Brookerton, South Carolina has a large and diverse cryptid population. It is a larger town, or city. It's 1.5 approximately million people. It goes between 1.5 and 1.6 million. It depends on the seasons and the economy at the time. It's right around that, slowly growing. It has, as stated, a large and very varied, large and diverse, that's a better way to put it, cryptid population. Also is home to the Department, a very horrific sort of, it's an existential horror, but it's more of a machine and not a creature. It's a created thing that nobody actually designed. It was just a whole bunch of stuff came together, wrong things, wrong time, wrong place to come up with this. And now it is a very malevolent thing that nobody can even really think about, because if you think about it, it generates a field that it's a Dunning field, the Dunning-Kruger effect. You become you enter a more dreamlike state where you can't properly think, and when you come out of it, you've forgotten everything that you were thinking about. So you start thinking, gosh, that government building is just suspicious. Before you can even finish the thought, you're zoning out and just going, oh, fingers. And then after an hour or so, you go, oh wow, I must have been napping. And then you continue your day. Anytime somebody thinks of this place in a suspicious or negative fashion, that Dunning field happens and they forget. So thumbs up on that. It is a vile place. You do not want to go there. It is, of course, where everybody has to go. It is the Department of Government Resources, wherefore the county of, I can't remember what even the name of the county of, if I even gave it a name, but it is the home of Brookerton, South Carolina. And that county and the 7 surrounding counties all have their stuff. All of their government resources are consolidated at the Department of Government Resources, where you have to go, and that's where the existential horror is. And of course, that Brookerton is also home to the largest door to the inside. If you have the sight and you can use glamours, you are aware of all the doors in the world. Depending how strong your sense of sight, you may be aware of more or less. Brookerton, South Carolina's door to the Razor's Edge is huge and very imposing when you first discover that it's there. Of course, the Razor's Edge is just that transitional point between the outside where we are and the inside where, well, the inside is with the infinite ocean of potential and possibility, and also where the Crimson Kingdom is. Because of the Crimson Kingdom, that is, it really helps out the Razor's Edge and keeps it stable. And out here where we are, people that have the sight and can use doors and glamours actually are using tech, because the Crimson Kingdom does things like have red line communications out here in our world, where they are going through and renting out data centers and server farms for computer people and businesses, small business stuff, so that they're fitting in between the cracks of the big boy telecoms out here. But they are a communications company that's weaseling their way in and through, and you can get your own, if you have the site, Sayaki phone, a mobile cellular device from the Crimson Kingdom in another universe, and it works. And of course, taking a look up there, is there anything else on this point? Yes, because of course, 500 kilometers away from Brookerton, South Carolina, in the United States of America, on the outside in this setting, only 500 kilometers away, of course, is the Kaiju, a dark and malevolent, fallen and chained god of death and destruction. The Kaiju is the singular most powerful being inside the Razor's Edge. It has existed for over 1 trillion continuous years and is not going to give up and die anytime soon. It is, within the Razor's Edge, untoppable. If you have on the inside a being who is effectively an actual god, if they went into the Razor's Edge to stomp on the Kaiju, within the Razor's Edge, the Kaiju is king. Even if on the outside of the Razor's Edge, on the inside where they normally exist, even if they are 1,000 times as strong as the Kaiju, when they enter the Razor's Edge, that Kaiju will pin them down, stomp on them, and eat them alive. And the Kaiju's very smart. It knows that it is only this powerful within the Razor's Edge, and it is not going to leave the Razor's Edge, partly because it doesn't get the energy that it requires to survive. It needs that static energy that is formed by the rubbing and bouncing of our two universes together. This forms a current form of static energy that requires a discharge, and it's a destructive discharge, to actually, arc and work. But on the outside where we are, there is very little of that. Very little of it leaks through the doors. And if the Kaiju came out, its lifespan would be measured in mere millions of years before it died. If it went to the inside, there is more energy there for it, but its lifespan would still be measured in only billions of years. That may sound like a lot, but right now, remember, on the Razor's Edge, it has lived for over 1 trillion years. It has had over 300 billion cycles where it lives and is awake for 2 billion years, and then it goes into torpor for 1 billion years. 3 billion year cycles, and it has been through over 300 billion of these. It is not going to let go and die anytime soon. So nobody, of course, on the Razor's Edge has any understanding of what the kaiju is. Everybody just thinks it's a beast that looks like an apple that sits over Apple Rock and occasionally comes down and rampages. Nobody has any understanding of what this is. And how could they? No one thing except for the kaiju can survive deep time. No knowledge, no objects, nothing. Only the kaiju. So nobody knows that this thing is a god. They just see it as, there's that thing that looks like an apple that occasionally comes down into the city, eats 6,000 or 7,000 of us, and then goes back up to sleep for 5 or 6 years. It is a horrific, nightmarish beast. And of course, I've talked about how cryptids are being whipsawed hard. Every generation of cryptids in Southern Carolina has been different from the previous one for the last 5 or 6 generations. One of those reasons is the rise of mass global communications in our world. Cryptids are formed by our fears, our dreams, our hopes, our nightmares, our best, our worst. It has largely been localized. You are affected by local dreams and fears. Thus, you can come up with local cryptids like Mothman and all that. Oh, excuse me, my tummy. But with the rise of global communications, there are places where local legends, local myth, local gods are being broadcast all around the world. And especially with the internet, where anybody who has any sort of connection in any country in the world, as long as they can connect, they can communicate. That is just whipsawing the urban and rural and feral cryptids hard. One of the reasons they're changing so fast. After all, in Brookerton, South Carolina, you might have to start changing according to the fears and worries of people in India or in Saudi Arabia or from Ghana. All these things that local cryptids from South Carolina would never have been affected by before. Now, with all this information at everybody's fingertips, it's all going global, and every cryptid everywhere is being whipsawed hard. The urban ones the hardest and the worst. So yeah, they're having to deal with this. Joy on that. And of course, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. And if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, we all know how my brain works. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And there is Jason Cunningham, who fell and got hurt in Scotland. Please be careful. I know ice and such is terrible. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, please be careful. I wouldn't blame anyone for falling. We're in a bipedal stance. That is inherently unstable. Add ice to it, and oh boy. Then we have Cake, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. JAYY, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Floramu, greatly appreciated, and good to see you on the comments. And, well, you know what I mean. I can't speak English. Shinra, thumbs up and thank you much. Adrian XJG, greatly appreciated. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. RJ Mitchell, greatly appreciated. There's Fumakage Tokiyami. I hope I'm close. But I still do have a reaction channel. And I hope to be doing reactions again here very soon. It's been my ADHD that has had to make me stop again. Oy vey. And Jesse Koskinen, good to see you in the comments, my friend. And that is it. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciating it. Me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people. If only a text, and if only for a short time. Thumbs up and thank you. So I'm still going to try and get some phone calls made. I need to get that done. So hopefully I can get that done. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done. And if you can't, don't beat yourself up. That doesn't help. It's not going to make you do it better next time. It just makes you feel bad. And of course, with the way the world is, please just be smart, take appropriate precautions, for your situation and location. If people are getting sick, mask up, keep your distance. If people are getting hurt, don't go dancing around amidst traffic where that's happening. And of course, if you hear the mournful howl of that bus, the bus with your name on it, oh, that horn, it tells you it's getting closer. All you can do is hunker down and hope that no one, gets hurt when you get smeared over the landscape. That impact is going to hurt for a very, very short period of time. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.